Hello everyone, welcome to a live Thursday night news flash here from our Spence Walsh Radio Network studios as we monitor many major things going on tonight. On today's show, the U.S. is going to be withdrawing 7,000 troops from Afghanistan just after withdrawing them yesterday from Syria, saying we have won against ISIS, Donald Trump has. And meanwhile, the shutdown situation is going crazy right now with Trump bailing on a border wall, and it's going crazy. We'll get you cut on the shutdown situation. Also, the market is tumbling on based on shutdown fears. Beto O'Rourke's progressive bona fide throwing it down, and finally, Kirstjen Nielsen is let's just say she's back on her bowl. Let's just put it that way. We'll get that all coming up. We're probably gonna have to circle back at one point or another because there's a lot of developing stories happening right now. Way too much news for us to handle, but we will do our best here in a live news flash that was supposed to take you up possibly until 10. I don't know. We'll pretty much just cover everything, do what we have to do, and then just head off the air. But it's definitely going to be a little bit of a different show tonight because of everything that is going on at this point in time. All right, we start with the top with breaking news as the Trump administration is withdrawing roughly 7,000 troops from Afghanistan. New York Times is reporting in the coming months. Two defense officials said Thursday around half of what the American about half of what the American military has there now. So Trump made this decision. At the same time, he decided he was pulling American forces out of Syria. One official said this move is likely one of the first steps to end the United States' involvement here in this 17-year-old war. So the 14,000 American troops currently in Afghanistan are divided between training and advising Afghan forces and a counter-terror mission against groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. The reduction, one official said, is an effort to make Afghan forces more reliant on their own troops and not Western support. So the Wall Street Journal was the first to report the development. So yeah, again, this is just very, very basic. Currently, American airstrikes are at levels not seen since the height of the war, where tens of thousands of American troopers spread throughout the country. The air support, officials say, consists mostly of propping up Afghan troops while they try to hold territory from a resurgent Taliban. More than 25,000 Afghan troops have died since the American military ended combat operations there in late 2014. Yeah, the Middle East, again, incredibly complicated situation, and I'm going to come out here and actually applaud Donald Trump on this for doing this situation. And something that I believe if Bernie Sanders were in the same position, he would have done this exact same thing. And a lot of this same reaction probably would have been very, very similar because we're monitoring some of this reaction that's been happening right now as the U.S. military, again, ordered to withdraw half the troops in Afghanistan. The House passed just now the spending bill for Trump's $5 billion border, with $5 billion for Trump's border wall, which is very interesting. It's a Republican-controlled House there. But you are going to need 60 votes in the Senate, which is not going to happen. God forbid that happens. So yeah, House passed that bill with border spending there. So that's just coming into our newsroom today. With Washington more little 24 hours away from partial government shutdown, the House of Representatives on Thursday, again, it passed a spending bill, which includes an additional $5 billion for Donald Trump's long-promised border wall. The vote was 217 to 185. The bill is in line with what President Trump has requested of Congress. This is, again, very, very bad. It's expected to be due dead on arrival to opposition over the border wall money. Trump said he was going to be finally backing down on this front. Like, he said he was going to, and this really shocked me, because if you remember on last week's, or this Monday's show, I was like, Trump's not going to back down, because if he does this, he is politically screwed. And, well, he backed down, and he was politically screwed, and guess what just happened today? He backed down again, or backed right back to where he was before and said, okay, I'm not going to acquiesce to the wall. So pretty much what he was going to do is he was going to say, okay, we'll get the government through to February, and then hopefully, not hopefully, but I'm presuming he would have then brought up the wall again. So then people went bananas on him. And when I say people like Michelle Malkin and Coulter, conservative media people, Fox News called him a loser for it. Glenn Bradford contributed today. He let me know about that. He is very much on this stuff, even more than I am, because I'm busy with like school, stuff like that. and Glenn has been great in terms of reporting some of the day-to-day developments for us on this front. I do want to get a little bit more of what he has had to say. Yes, we know that Trump has going on right now, but also he's talking about a secret memo sent to the DOJ last June by newly nominated Attorney General William Barr, outlining the reasons that Mueller's obstruction case should be dropped. So that's happening there as well, and we got that kind of pending through in this current situation. We got Matt Whitaker in there now. He's obviously very much against the Robert Mueller investigation, so it's all kind of falling together. When I say falling together, I mean falling apart, obviously. What else here, as we are just a few days away from Christmas, and supposed to be finishing our last show of the week. Put a nice bow in the year. Maybe do a year-end review special, easy show, but no. I'm looking at a splay of stories right in front of me here. So obviously, just I want to get back here. The House passed that spending bill that's going to be done on arrival in the Senate that just came through now. We'll be following the latest on that. So Trump's withdrawing troops from Afghanistan, which is good. Again, pretty much simple as that. It's going to be good. It's going to be very, very positive here. And I think a lot of Americans, they didn't even know we were in Syria. And the fact that the media, I think the real question now is what the media is saying right now. They're pretty much, their message is, oh my God, we're going to die. The Russia support, and this is a funny thing. There's just random headlines from like lib outlets like the New York Times saying, okay, Russia agreed with Donald Trump again. Oh my God. And honestly, just because Putin said, okay, Donald, you were correct, that does not mean it was the wrong decision in the first place. Because in my opinion, a lot of this should be very much reevaluated. I'm not saying it was obviously the best decision there, but I think it's very, very important to realize this one major thing, and that was getting troops out of Syria, getting troops out of the Middle East is incredibly, incredibly important, and I think that's something that we're going to have to deal with. Because we just can't have them there forever. We've had, again, troops in Afghanistan for 17 years, and we're playing a lot of the clips here. There's a lot of just absolute hysteria on CNN, MSNBC, things like that. I think it's really really quite prevalent. And right now, interestingly, I'm just seeing so much literally fly in front of my face right now. It's getting too much. It's getting too much, folks. But all you got to do is go to CNN, and if you get, I just want to play this for you while we reset here to just get some of the reaction. As the U.S. is pulling now troops out of Afghanistan, people are absolutely freaking out. So the Afghanistan announcement soon to come, apparently, but we're going to get you right now. Just people absolutely freaking out. Here's Leon Panetta. He is deep history in military, or just kind of the military industrial complex. He's very much he's part of the war machine. John Brennan type of guy. His goal is get right now the defense, make sure that we have as much money flowing through the business of war, people dying, U.S. creating instability in the Middle East. That's his goal. And obviously you can see he is completely freaked out by that. These people, they're literally, it sounds so cliche, but they're bought and paid for by these people. It's absolutely incredible how much you see someone like Leon Panetta, God knows what kind of defense contractors talk to him. Even if it's not defense contractors, it's just that same kind of worldview of we need to be the policeman of the world. I think I'm 90% sure he's like a Clinton guy, and he's a guy who wants to think that we are the number one, that we are the people who should be controlling all influence in the world, and that is something that a lot of Americans don't like. They don't like us in the Middle East. They think it's making instability, and obviously there's no reason to deploy troops if we don't need to deploy troops, right? So that is something that we're seeing Leon Panetta being vehemently opposed to here. Take a listen.
We're a strong nation, even if we have this kind of erratic and unpredictable president, and I think that ultimately we'll be able to get through this because of our system of checks and balances. But there's no question that this is a president who doesn't like to sit down with advisors and those experienced in foreign policy and national defense policy and listen to them, listen to their advice. Every president in recent history takes the time to listen to his advisors because they know, frankly, a hell of a lot more than the president does. And so the responsibility here is to listen to that advice and to understand the consequences and what it means to the interests of the United States. But this is a president who operates by somehow his gut instinct, and also, I think, how he reads the politics of the moment. He enjoys chaos because he thinks chaos produces attention for him. But the problem is chaos, a steady diet of chaos, creates hell for the American people. We need stability right now. We need a sense that we have a president who's going to take the time to make the right decisions and provide stability for this country.
Okay, so a lot to break down there in that clip there from Leon Panetta, former defense secretary, under President Obama. So yeah, he's a little bit from a throwback, way back guy. I'm 90% sure he was associated with Bill Clinton in some way. I could be going crazy here. Panetta, Clinton. Let's see. Leon Panetta. Let's just say did he serve with Clinton, President Clinton? Okay, he was there. He worked with Panetta, Clinton worked with him, whatever. Okay, so yeah, I had to do a quick Google search there. That was bothering me. All right, we continue. It's going to be a live show. I'm sorry, it's going to be a little bit hectic, not going to be kind of the same smooth layout. Everything's planned that you're normally used to. So, that's all that stuff's going on, and pretty much what I think the worldview is. I think a large percentage of Americans here are coming in, they're stepping back and saying, okay, I think Trump's crazy, or I think Trump's he's dumb. American people think he's dumb. I think that's proven by polls, proven by statistics, and I think he's very irrational. And personally, the only part where I disagree with him on this move is saying, just not letting anyone know. It's okay to go, I'm the president. I can take out troops whenever I want. I want to take out troops right now. I want to take out troops from Syria. That's perfectly perfectly irrational thing to do. It's a rational thing to do, not irrational thing to do. But what is not a rational thing to do is to say, okay, we're leaving Syria, bye. But no, you have to actually plan it out, make it a little bit more orderly. The move is fine, but the problem I have is getting things, just making it unorderly like that. So, broadly, I think the American people say, if we can get troops coming home from doing some nonsensical thing in Syria, it was around 2,000 official. Well, we all know there's more troops than that. But there are now... There's American operatives. There's a broad range the Pentagon likes to call troops. But yeah, there's a little bit more than two. Roughly, I'm going to put a big grain of salt. Take a big grain of salt with that 2,000 American troops in Syria. Trump's withdrawing right now. He was bringing a sudden end to the campaign that was pretty much there to vanquish the Islamic State, but ceding strategic vital country to Russia and Iran. How about we cede it back to Syria? How about that? And how about we don't put all our time into frivolous wars in the Middle East that really never, we're fighting over just semantics at this point. ISIS is virtually defeated. I'm not going to say it's defeated because there's that's stupid. They're not defeated. There's still remnants of it. There's a lot of crazy stuff. And a lot of crazy stuff going on. So yeah, and I know it's a lot to take in, but I think largely the American people, they see this and they say, we got a guy who's pulling out of this war with ISIS virtually defeated and bringing troops home. I think that, and I really don't think the evidence is there to back up a lot of spending in the wars. People don't like troops in the wars unnecessarily. People think we should get out of the Middle East overwhelmingly, especially in Afghanistan. Maybe not necessarily in Syria, but I think it would